Welcome back, everybody. This is Fire FF, and bringing you here an HD broadcast between a TWLD match between Fierce and Freebie. Okay, so let me go ahead and get this started. As we see, both players kind of in the waiting zones right now, ready to get spawned and ready for action. So with this game, after a certain part, I'm gonna keep it competitive, but once it kind of breaks apart, because you guys obviously know the ending already or whatnot, or some of you do, but for those who don't, have some stuff to talk about. Especially I want to keep promoting the new event that we have, the new cash event we have. But before we get into the new cash event, I want to talk about some of the players here, because there's some significant players here that have to be mentioned, because if you're going to school, it's like you got to learn about the Independence Day for America. Okay, so teacher Fire is gonna drop some knowledge, you guys, about trench wars history back in 2000 and 2002. That era, the Siege era, okay, the Siege elusive era, which I was a part of both. And that brings us to Chrome. So Chrome is a great buddy of mine. We obviously won a couple of LD titles together way back when, before probably most of you here have been playing. Okay, if you're listening to this broadcast, I will not put money on it, but I will go out on a strong limb. I don't put money on it because it's stupid. I'm already, in a way, distributing money. So, no need to get everybody rich. You gotta earn it. No free lunch in this world. But anyhow, Chrome is playing now. He's back. He's been playing Hockey Zone for a while. Took a hiatus from Trench Wars, like most of Siege when they broke up, because after a period of dominance. And Siege was also after the first or second title of Siege was after the 1280. Oh, the third title of Siege was after the 1280 resolution. So that one was a 1280 legit one, and the one before was, it was like 2848 by 1536 or something ridiculous. I forgot what it was, but it was pretty sick back in the day. That's why I wouldn't mind playing Warbird again if they had 2048 by 1536 or something like insane. Because nowadays, back in the days, yeah, I understand because not everyone had good computers, but nowadays, broadband is standard, okay? Like cable modem internet was standard back then when I started. 56K was the best, okay? Yeah, that's pretty sad. And so, yeah, I definitely vote for a new change in res size, and also helps kind of, if not for the player, this is just for some thoughts out there, like for maybe the spectators. I've definitely spoken to some staff already, but want to let the community know what's kind of like been going on. And as a spectator, for me, like TWLD is the hardest to cast, because obviously the the F5 function, there's too many things going on with that, and people aren't even in range. Like you're seeing for the first half of the map, or the first half of the game, you're not seeing anybody in range. But what I want to talk about was a player named Chrome, captain of Siege, and now he's back on Fierce, and so he's gonna definitely participate in their hopes to win the LD title this year. So we're seeing self-proclaimed Kobe Bryant and Guile on the screen right now. So we'll see how he does. He did make a crazy comeback along with Skepsis. So both Guile and Skepsis have basically proven themselves from the last game that they can be a late game performer. They can fight one versus whatever and still win. They do belong in the starting lineup. And then they're great players. They're great players. Obviously, there's and also Apoc's here, so that's exciting to see. Want to see Apoc. He's very aggressive. I like aggressive warbirds. Okay, so that's how I played back in the day. You ask Chrome, you ask anybody. It was like more you rush in, you dodge, and you kill, and you get out of the way, and you live. and that's how we rolled back in the day. But I know that's why I like Apoc. I like Raka too. Raka's a great, it's fun to watch. Okay, so and for Freebie, I'm a big fan of Kid Chaos. Because he's been around for a while, and some of the other players are coming up. Hopefully, Violence setup can step up. I've seen Rickle here and there, and Chuckle. See, we need Chuckle to step up here. We need Chuckle to make a commanding, make something happen. So as it gets picked up by Guile there, but. Regarding like the Fierce versus Freebie, it's obviously a one-sided matchup, but I want to make sure to get everyone featured, and a lot of my see good players featured, because we're not trying to hear promote. We want to promote all the squads, but we want to highlight some great players, old legends, or whoever, because the more people we can reach out, you just never know who might be listening. Like a friend of theirs, like a friend of theirs happens to hear my cast and decides to play. I've actually a couple of you guys now have hopped on, just solely because of the cast, and that kind of makes me, want to do more. It incentivizes me to go out there and try to produce more quality content. Yeah, so keep doing that. I mean, just let me know in game how you heard of it, because if you're a new player, I mean, it definitely wants to inspire me to go out there and just try that extra a little bit harder, and we'll see. But anyways, back to a point before about the res. It makes it easier so I can watch everything at once. Because right now with 13, I'm on 1368 or that 1300 res, 13 something by 7 something res. And it's just really hard because I don't want to be stagnated as Chrome gets taken out by Kid there. Like going back, not stagnated, but my hands are going back and forth, back and forth. And I don't know who's ever watched Blair Witch Project when it first came out and sat in the front row because they were late to a movie. Obviously, some people, they left more on the ground that they came up in with. So, and that's exactly, I don't want to do that. Counter-Strike, sometimes, if it takes a while for you guys to get used to Counter-Strike back in the day, people got dizzy watching it, too many quick turns. So if I start moving the keyboard frantically like I did when I first started the first couple of games, it's just not, it doesn't make for a good viewing experience. So that's why I like to cast in at least 1920 now, at least 1920, just because I can see everything and it doesn't allow, unless it's something like LB where you don't really have to move, and 1280 is fine. But you can kind of, and also with 1920, I can always have the stat score display up instead of having it up right now, because, or just so it's there. It's just there for like as part of the viewing experience. Kind of like if you watch StarCraft 2 VODs or replays, you're going to see a lot of them on the production tab now, because people want to see the metagame. They want to see the game within the game and have a better feel of the players. So with the kills up, we can kind of see who's hot, who's not, who's going to rock it, who's basically going to be a feeder. Oh, violence, just almost getting out of the way to 2-4 there. So I'm going to comment here and there in the game, just because this is kind of a one-sided match now, and it's, if I just repeat to you, you guys aren't stupid, okay? So unless you kind of like failed, like first grade or something. So, but to the rest of you guys who didn't, yeah, I'm going to just kind of talk about some things. If I see something exciting or worth noted, or if I don't have anything to say, I'll maybe talk about the game a little bit, okay? So I want to go back to the initial point that I thought I would have forgotten about by now, but Tresses, Weak, nice shot. So, yeah, Weak is a player who I definitely want to see just, explode this year. A couple players on Fiercest. I want to see, I'm not in the, all in the superstars anymore of the zone, because they're already proven, they're going to be here regardless of what happens, because, you put in that much time, you're not going to walk away from something. Regardless, you will pay Kobe like 20 million, but he will never walk away from the game, okay? Because first of all, he makes that much, and second of all, he enjoys what he does. And so most of you superstars like what you do, and that is to own people over there in subspace, kind of like what I do. So I'm very competitive with sports and hip hop dance and whatever, and especially with subspace. But anyhow, Tress has an event coming up. I have a video up. Check it out if you haven't seen it. It's coming up this coming Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So a lot of you guys, a lot of you kids, after school, on a Friday, before you go out at night, go hang out at night, come back, just, you don't have to do homework because it's a Friday. Well, and that's it for part 1, but I'll continue Tress's thing, but with the kids' homework and everything, but stay tuned for part 2. FF out.